Out the red carpet and get out your acceptance speech because we have your Backstage Pass to Hollywood. Backstage Pass starts now.
4,
3.
2.
Are you ready?
And welcome back to Backstage Pass, where we give you the scoop on all things entertainment. I'm Hannah Balkowski.
And I'm Eric Valenti.
This episode of Backstage Pass is super special because Eric and I are having a movie night, sleepover style. We're talking all things movies in our comfiest PJs. I've even got my cozy monkey slippers on. Can we get a close-up on these? I mean, take a look at these bad boys. They are the perfect choice for a movie night.
Those sure do look comfy. My movie style of choice is some PJ pants and a hoodie. But enough about how cozy we are. Let's talk movies by starting at the very beginning. Here's the rapid-fire Backstage Pass verified movie history report.
While there isn't a clear inventor of movies, the earliest account of filming comes from the Edison Company in 1891. They demonstrated a prototype of the kinescope, which allowed a single person to view a series of moving pictures.
It wasn't until 1895 in Paris that the Lumiere brothers became the first people to show projected moving pictures to a paying audience. Just a little history to pay respects to some of the great films we have today.
So to formally kick off our movie night, we'd like to take you through the decades, from the 40s to the early 2000s.
I'm starting this list off with a film held in high regard, Casablanca, directed by Michael Curtiz. The story follows cafe owner Rick Blaine, who finds out his past love, Ilsa, is visiting Casablanca. She's actually visiting with her husband, Victor Laszlo, a rebel with Germans on his tail. Rick must decide whether or not to help Ilsa and her husband escape from Casablanca, a riveting film from start to finish.
Another fantastic movie from the 40s is Fantasia, from the Walt Disney Company. Everyone knows that blue wizard hat Mickey Mouse wore as he cast spells in this animated classic. The aim of this movie was to put visuals over some classical music, and what better way to do so than to portray this lovable mouse as a sorcerer's apprentice.
Oh, I love that movie. I dressed as the Sorcerer's Apprentice when I was really little for Halloween.
As wonderful as those 40s films are, we've got some even better films in the 50s.
To kick off the 50s, I'm covering Imitation of Life, directed by Douglas Sirk. The film follows two single mothers, Laura and Annie. While dealing with the difficulties of being single mothers with aspirations, they are tasked with raising their children to understand the complexities of the world. Both daughters come to realize that even though they live under the same roof, they are treated differently for the color of their skin.
My pick from the 50s is a classic Audrey Hepburn movie, Roman Holiday. A European princess takes a night off in Rome, but crosses paths with an American reporter played by Gregory Peck. As all reporters do, he tries to get an interview with her, but romance soon gets in the way. This film is a classic love story that every rom-com fan should give a chance.
A Roman holiday. I'd rather go somewhere where the hills are alive.
Well, do I have the movie for you. Starting off the 60s, I chose The Sound of Music. If you haven't seen this movie, then you're missing out. Julie Andrews takes us on a real-life story of the Von Trapp family singers, taking place during World War II. From a nun at a convent to a governess at the widowed captain's home with 7 children, this story is sure to have you laughing, awing, and crying.
One musical after another. I've chosen West Side Story from 1961. Two rival gangs, the Jets and the Sharks. Tony is a former member of the Jets who falls madly in love with the sister of one of the Sharks, Maria. Truly a forbidden love. Watch this classic musical and find out if love conquers all.
The 70s had some pretty great movies. Let's see if you can guess which one I chose. But okay, you get the idea. I chose Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg. There isn't much to say about this film except that it's one of the most popular movies ever made and gives us a strong message about human greed. And I won't lie, I thought this movie was the scariest thing ever when I was younger. But there is one thing that is scarier than the shark: The Godfather.
One of the original Italian-American mob movies, director Francis Ford Coppola tells a story about a mafia family whose lives are riddled with violence and betrayal. The Godfather is a film that makes it clear to not do wrong by the Don.
I wouldn't want to get on his bad side. This next decade is when movies really took off. To start the 80s, I chose Dead Poets Society. This one's a tearjerker and offers a very important message. We should seek out the important things in life. Robin Williams stars as a new instructor at an all-boys prep school using unorthodox methods to help the boys gain confidence and pursue their dreams.
Arguably one of the most famous 80s movies is Back to the Future, even though it's a movie about traveling back in time to the 50s. Just the vibe of the film and the main characters, the eccentric Doc Brown and the silly Marty McFly, truly make everything feel totally radical.
The 90s gave us some iconic rom-coms and dramas. I'm a sucker for romance, which is why I chose to talk about Titanic. I know we all thought there was enough room for Jack on the door with Rose, but it wouldn't have been dramatic if he lived, okay? Sorry, that was a spoiler alert, but come on, if you haven't seen this, that's on you.
One of the best movies, in my opinion, is 10 Things I Hate About You, starring Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles. The relationship between their two characters is super charming, but the most iconic thing from this 90s flick is the poem Julia Stiles read at the end, "You'll Be Bawling."
The 2000s gave us some other amazing films. My top pick was Mamma Mia, the musical based on the band ABBA and starring Meryl Streep and Amanda Seyfried. I love this movie with a passion and cannot be stopped from singing along to the soundtrack. Give it a watch if you want to see Sophie find out who her real dad is.
My favorite 2000s film is Kill Bill. I enjoyed both Volume 1 and 2 of the series, but I'm talking more about Volume 1 for this entry. A bloodied bride is out for revenge, and no one will keep her from getting to Bill. Need I say more?
It's obvious that we love our movies, but we wanted to see how other people enjoy movies. We went around campus and asked some students some movie quote trivia. Let's see how they did. Welcome to another segment of Backstage Asks. I'm Hannah Balkowski.
And I'm Eric Valenti.
And today we're going to be doing some movie quote trivia. What are your opinions on this?
I'm really excited. I wrote all of the questions. I picked out all the movies. I'm excited for this segment.
Yeah, this is kind of biased, but you know what? A movie's a movie, so let's get right into it. What's your name?
My name is Peter Ray.
Sophia Conti.
Frankie.
Marshall.
I'm Melina.
I'm Brianna.
Maddie.
Alyssa.
Justin.
Hi, I'm Siobhan.
Noelle.
Julia.
Lenise.
Cameron.
So I'm going to read a quote, and you're going to try to guess the movie, okay?
Right.
You come into my house on the day my daughter is to be married, and you ask me to do murder for money. What movie is that from?
I have no idea. I don't watch movies. Why am I doing this?
I have no clue.
Oh my god, I literally have no idea.
Next.
Is that Toy Story?
No. I don't think there's murder in Toy Story.
I think there is.
Oh, actually,
You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding.
I think. Is it The Godfather?
Yes! Say it confidently.
The Godfather.
The Godfather?
Something Italian.
is this Utopia?
What?
Father?
The Godfather.
That is correct.
The Godfather?
Yeah.
Oh, it's The Godfather. See, you didn't do the accent. That's
Well, I can't. I'm not Italian.
I do this so they know it's an Italian-American film. Squint the eyes, because that's what the actor does. And he says, "You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding." He doesn't do this. You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. Yes, that's pretty good. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Like James Bond?
What?
007. The Bond movies?
James Bond?
Yeah, wow.
James Bond.
That's James Bond.
James Bond.
Yes.
James Bond.
It's like Mission Impossible, like 007.
Yeah, James Bond, Goldfinger. Okay, who said that? Okay, in Clueless, the sassy blonde female lead throughout the film says her famous line, "Ugh, as if." What is the character's name?
I've never seen Clueless.
She's clueless about Clueless.
This is a crime.
I have no idea. I've never even seen that movie.
I've never seen this movie. I ain't going.
I don't even know what Clueless is.
That's my girl, Cher Horowitz.
Wow, first and
I know my iconic
last.
blondes. I know my iconic blondes.
Cher. Cher.
Cher Horowitz.
Cher.
Yes.
Nice.
Nice.
Cher.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's Cher.
Our next question is a fill in the blank, so it's going to be a famous quote. You fill in the word that is missing. Toto, I have a feeling we're not in blank anymore.
You take this one.
Yeah.
Kansas.
Yes, that's correct.
Kansas.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank God. Kansas. Kansas.
Kentucky? Not Kentucky, no.
No, but it starts with a K.
Kansas.
Yes. Yes.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
Kansas.
Oh, yes.
I know it's from Wizard of Oz.
Kansas.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
Kansas.
Correct. It's from The Wizard of Oz.
Okay, this last one is, my mama always said life was like a box of.
Chocolates.
You act like I watch these
Has
movies.
life is like a box of.
All that comes to mind is lemons, and it's not lemons.
It's not a box of lemons, Lenny.
Chocolates?
Yes.
Chocolates.
Chocolates.
What
you
mov-
never know what you're gonna get.
Chocolate.
Chocolates.
Wow.
I was thinking of chocolates, to be honest.
Yes, that's correct.
Chocolates.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Chocolates. What's the movie? Forrest Gump. Perfect.
Wow.
I have to say, some of those questions were pretty hard, and I would not have gotten them. But again, you wrote them, so totally biased.
I mean, some of these are classics. I'm disappointed by the LaSalle community this time. I'm sorry. Those are classics.
Okay, yeah. After the first two questions, if you got it wrong, then shame on you. But we still love you, and we're excited to see what the campus says next time. So stay tuned.
I think I would have made the Don proud with my imitation of him.
I think you did a pretty good job, but there's some actors and actresses that are truly special. Since we highlighted so many films earlier, I think we should also shout out some terrific actors as well.
Let's do it. Starting with the guys, I'm going to call my attention to my guy, Dev Patel. I especially loved him in Lion and Slumdog Millionaire. Both truly hard-hitting stories where he brought his all and reached a new level of emotional depth in both roles.
For similar reasons, I have chosen Joaquin Phoenix. This actor has starred in several films including Gladiator, Her, and of course, The Joker. He really gets into his characters. Fun fact, Phoenix lost 52 pounds for his role as Joker, which people thought was both brave and dangerous.
My next choice is the incredible Samuel L. Jackson. I enjoyed watching him in The Hateful Eight and Pulp Fiction. He commits for every role he plays and uses his facial expressions and voice to convey his characters impeccably. I can't think of a film where he does a bad job.
A classic and iconic choice is my man Tom Hanks. I mean, he's like America's grandpa. Everyone knows him, and how could you not? He's been in so many films such as Toy Story, Saving Private Ryan, and of course, Forrest Gump. But enough about men, let's get into the real talent in the world, actresses.
I couldn't agree more. Let's talk about Constance Wu. The films I enjoyed with her are Crazy Rich Asians and Hustlers. She just has this positive energy to her when she plays a character and displays such real emotions in her films, especially in Crazy Rich Asians.
It's hard to choose, but my first pick is Academy Award winner Anne Hathaway. From Interstellar to The Devil Wears Prada, she can do it all. My most favorite of her films are Les Mis and the iconic Princess Diaries.
Anne Hathaway is great, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about one of my favorites, Julia Roberts. If you haven't watched Mystic Pizza or Steel Magnolias, then you are missing out. She always makes her characters seem relatable in some capacity, and I think it comes from her line delivery and body language when acting.
My all-time favorite actress is Taraji P. Henson. My favorite film of hers is Hidden Figures, and if you haven't seen it, go do that, after the show, of course. She was also wonderful in the film The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, in which she was nominated for an Oscar as supporting actress. Speaking of the Oscars, there have been many Oscars moments that have left us laughing or in shock. We are going to give you our top Oscars fails.
It's super famous and had everyone gasping. I am of course talking about when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. It had everyone doing double takes, it was wrong, and people were talking about it for weeks.
Of course, we have the iconic moment where Jennifer Lawrence fell up the stairs to receive her Oscar for Best Actress in Silver Linings Playbook.
In my opinion, the Moonlight and La La Land mix-up was a mega fail. They announced that La La Land won Oscar for Best Picture, but moments later it was discovered that Moonlight had actually won. It was super awkward to watch these two casts look around confused on stage. At least Moonlight got their Oscar in the end.
Lastly, my most favorite Oscars fail is when John Travolta introduced Idina Menzel as Adele Dazeem. To give you some other great Oscars moments, LTV crew member Carrie Marable is going to give us her top Oscars fashion moments. Take it away.
Hello, my name is Carrie Marable, and this is Campus Couture, your backstage pass to all things fashion on campus. Today, we'll be looking at a top 10 list of Oscars red carpet looks. These looks stood out most to Campus Couture's team of editors. At the top of our list, we have Zendaya wearing a vibrant lemon yellow Valentino haute couture gown that went viral on social media. The actress wore a dress inspired by Cher. Valentino said on Instagram that the chiffon dress was custom designed by their creative director, and it took artisans 300 hours to produce. Looking at the inspiration of that Valentino dress worn by Zendaya, Cher had show-stopping looks at every Academy Award show she attended. The 1974 Oscars was when Cher was promoting her self-titled album. Once again wearing Bob Mackie, her staple designer, she wore a floral sarong-styled dress skirt with a wrap-tie bralette and matching floral corsages wrapped around her neck and pinned into her hair. Taking it forward to 2019, we have another iconic singer in another iconic look. Lady Gaga wore Alexander McQueen at the 2019 Oscars, where she won an award for Best Original Song after her duet Shallow in the movie A Star is Born topped the charts that year. Lady Gaga's stylist reported that they were going for a timeless look, taking inspiration from Marilyn Monroe's dress in the movie Gentlemen's Preferred Blondes and adding a diamond necklace last worn by Audrey Hepburn in promotional photos for Breakfast at Tiffany's. Let's take a look at the one and only Audrey Hepburn, who Lady Gaga's necklace paid homage to. In most of her iconic fashion moments, both on and off screen, Audrey was wearing Givenchy. She and Hubert da Vinci met in their mid-20s. Their professional and friendship partnership spanned over 40 years. He designed her first Oscars dress, the black satin gown she wears in Breakfast at Tiffany's, and a pink jersey dress she wore for her wedding day. This Givenchy dress with intricate beading and a modest cutout at the 1975 Oscars is at the top of our list. On the topic of Tiffany's, topping many magazines and news outlets' best dressed lists, Lupita Nyong'o stuns the fashion world with her custom Tiffany blue silk Prada look at the 2014 Oscars. This look was everywhere in the news and on social media for good reason. Lupita looks like an effortless and ethereal Cinderella in this light and airy pleated gown with a deep V-neck top and low-cut sides. In another fairy tale look, Elizabeth Taylor attended the Oscars in 1953 wearing a dress fit for a princess. The actress chose an elaborate light pink ruffled corset dress for the event, which is thought to be designed by prominent costume designer of the time named Edith Head. This dress was appraised in 2011 at an event in Minneapolis, Minnesota on the show Antique Roadshow of the PBS channel. Fellow queen of the silver screen and real-life Princess of Monaco, Grace Kelly wore an Edith Head original when she won Best Actress for a Country Girl. At the 1955 Oscars, the French satin was used for Grace Kelly's custom gown cost $4,000. At the time, that was the most expensive Oscar dress ever. Grace wore her Oscar dress for 3 different occasions: for a Life magazine cover, for the premiere of the movie Country Girl, and finally for the Oscars. Next on our list, Sandra Oh walked the 2020 Oscars red carpet wearing a champagne-colored Elie Saab gown. The dress had a plunging neckline and a dramatic open back. The long dress featured thousands of sequins, and the gown's sleeves had large, sculptural, floral-esque bunches of tulle and lace from shoulder to elbow. Another Elie Saab gown making Campus Couture's top 10 list is the one Halle Berry wore when she won an Academy Award for Best Actress in 2002 for her role in Monsters Ball. This dress was so popular, it even has its own Wikipedia page. Last but not least, we have Charlize Theron wearing Gucci at the 2004 Oscars, where she took home the award for Best Actress. Charlize wore a spaghetti-strapped, fitted, glittery gown from the Italian fashion house of Gucci. The dress was designed by Tom Ford when he was still the creative director of Gucci, but now he is well known for his own brand under his name. And that is Campus Couture's Top 10 Oscar red carpet looks. If you'd like to hear more about all things entertainment, be sure to follow Backstage Pass on Instagram at Backstage Pass LTV. Stay tuned to find out the next time you can get your Backstage Pass to fashion on campus with Campus Couture.
Glad we have Carrie to give us some fashion tips. I'll definitely ask her for advice when we go to the Oscars.
One day, maybe we will get a movie made about our lives. Hopefully we don't end up as rivals. Sometimes though, rivalries make for the best stories. So we're gonna play a little game where we choose between two movie franchises. Bring up the picks. We have our popcorn ready too.
Yes.
Oh, Harry Potter.
Oh, Harry Potter by a long shot.
No choice. I mean,
iconic stuff in Twilight. Though.
Twilight's just, it's kind of a meme movie, you know what I mean?
It is kind of
it's a meme movie.
That green filter.
The green filter.
Let's see the next one. Ooh,
Unpopular opinion. Okay, actually no, it's not. Hunger Games, because Divergent,
by a long shot.
After the first one, it was just like, what is going on?
I never even, I saw bits and pieces of the first one. Bring the next one, easy choice.
This is another easy choice.
This is another, yeah, on the count of three. One, two, three.
Star Wars. I mean,
yeah.
But this is pretty fun.
Yeah. Oh, I can't do that. Hannah's talented. I mean, come on. You know, there's so many different movie franchises, but we didn't cover any animated films. Good thing we have LTV crew member Sophia Conti and London Reese to tell us all their favorite animated films.
Hey guys, it's Sophia Conti.
And I'm London Reese, and today we're here to tell you all about our top 5 favorite animated films.
All right, London, what is one of your top favorites?
Well, Sophia, I happen to love a lot of animated films. So hard to choose a few, but one of my favorites would definitely have to be Shrek 2. I'm a huge fan of the Shrek franchise, but this one definitely tops it.
Starting off strong, what about Shrek 2 do you love?
I love everything about the film. Everyone absolutely needs a funny friend like Donkey, but I really love how Fiona fights for Shrek, you know? I mean, they have everyone around them telling them that Shrek's an outsider because he's an ogre, and eventually Shrek begins to believe it and actually tries to change himself. But in the end, Fiona reassures Shrek that it only matters what she feels about him.
Couple goals with Fiona and Shrek. For me, I am a huge fan of The Lion King. I know everyone likes that. Everyone has seen it a million times, but this movie gets everything right. This movie is my favorite because the plot follows the underdog Simba, who perseveres against so much, like having to live exiled from Pride Rock and coming back to fight his uncle Scar to reclaim the Lion Kingdom. The movie has musical scenes which are colorful and vibrant. Characters like Timon, Pumbaa, and Zazu help to make the film wholesome and lovable. In addition, there's also romance between Simba and Nala. There's so much to love.
I agree. Everyone loves The Lion King. It was definitely one of my first favorite films I loved as a child. Another favorite of mine is Finding Nemo. This movie is a classic. I love the storyline, the characters, especially Dory. I mean, who doesn't love the quirky, short-term memory loss, fun fish? And Nemo and Marlin's relationship is so beautiful. I love how he travels the entire ocean for his son and goes on this wild journey meeting new people and having these new experiences. Then when he actually finds his son, he tells him all about it. I love.
Finding Nemo is an iconic movie. Dory, the best character ever. She is so funny.
Agreed.
Another favorite of mine is Pixar's 2009 Up. Up brings tears, laughs, and more. The movie does a great job of telling a story about connection between two unlikely friends. Carl, a 78-year-old balloon seller, and Russell, a Boy Scout who just wants to help. My favorite thing about this movie is the plot, the balloon house that takes them to the undiscovered world, the army of talking dogs, the new bird species they decide to protect. It's very interesting.
Oh, how I love Russell. His small, chunky self in his Boy Scout outfit is to die for.
Agreed. You know what movie I loved as a kid but kind of scared me?
No, what?
Toy Story.
Toy Story, of course, iconic. Another franchise I love. I think my all-time favorite is the last one, Toy Story 4. I love the characters that were introduced, especially Forky. Oh, how he loves his trash. And then we can't forget the return of Bo Peep herself. And of course, how it ends. So sad to see Woody leave the gang, but I'm glad he reunited with his love, Bo.
All right, that wraps up our top movies. Both of us love Toy Story. London had great picks with Shrek 2 and Finding Nemo. The Lion King and Up were my favorites. This has been our top animated movies. Thanks for watching. Back to Eric and Hannah with Backstage Pass.
Thanks, Sophia in London. There's always something comforting about a good animated film. But I'm a sucker for a good superhero movie. Eric and I are going to list our top Marvel movie franchises.
Number 1 is Spider-Man. This role has been played by Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, who happens to be my favorite.
Number 2 is Captain America, played by Chris Evans. He's pretty cool, and he has a shield. What's cooler than a shield? Okay, probably a lot of things.
Number 3 is Guardians of the Galaxy. This group of 5, starring Chris Pratt and a talking raccoon, come together to do some great space stuff. I am Groot.
Number 4 is Iron Man, played by Robert Downey Jr. What a creative superhero name for a man who wears an iron suit.
And last but not least, Black Panther, played by the late Chadwick Boseman. As they say, Wakanda forever.
While no Marvel movie is set in Philly, there is a DC Universe movie that is set in Philly, Shazam. And since Philly is the birthplace of LTV, we're going to highlight some of our favorite films set in Philadelphia. Grab a cheesesteak and a pretzel for these Philly flicks.
Philly is my home, and it would be a total disservice if I didn't talk about Rocky, arguably the most recognizable boxer. Sylvester Stallone running up the Art Museum stairs is so iconic, and he brought so much pride to Philadelphia.
This next one never fails to make me cry. The 1993 drama Philadelphia, starring Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington. This story follows an attorney at a law firm in Philly who gets fired after the firm finds out he has AIDS. He sues the firm and, in the end, well, I won't spoil it, but get your tissues ready.
Silver Linings Playbook, a film based on the novel written by Matthew Quick, a LaSalle alum, might I add. It's a heartwarming love story with good mental illness representation. J. Law and Bradley Cooper had undeniable chemistry, and everyone in this film is an Eagles fan. Let's go Birds!
This last one's for my Sixers fans. Hustle, starring Adam Sandler, follows a Sixers basketball scout who discovers an amazing player while abroad. He brings him back and trains him for the big leagues. Movies were such a major part of our childhood, so we're going to take a blast to the past with our old obsessions.
The film I hold close to my heart is Holes. I know for a fact we all wrote a book report for the book, or we watched the film in school. The campsite and the counselors always seemed like a nightmare, but those onions that Caveman and Zero ate looked delicious, and their dynamic was adorable.
The film that I was obsessed with when I was younger was Barbie Fairytopia. I mean, who wouldn't love a fairy and a cute furball friend named Bibble on an adventure to save Fairytopia after an evil fairy took over the land with darkness and her posse of trolls? I mean, that's movie gold right there. Do you want to hear my impression of Bibble?
That was good. I can't believe it's the end of our show. I wonder what our viewers thought about our stories, thoughts, and opinions about all the content we covered. I wonder if there's a place they could connect with us.
Luckily, you can, through social media. Get your phone out and follow us on these various platforms seen on your screen. Drop us a follow, leave a comment, and let us know if you have any suggestions. I'm Hannah Volkovsky.
And I'm Eric Valenti. We'll see you next time on Backstage Pass.